Hey, it's Brian from quantlabs.net. Just wanted to let people know what I'm doing, where I'm at, and what's been happening. Over the last, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks, I've been working, trying to implement this strategy for options, fairly simple strategy, into a platform like open source trading, a platform like TradeLink. And I've kind of explored another one I'm not going to name. You probably know which one I'm referring to if you've been following me for a while. And basically I've come to the conclusion that a lot of the trading platforms are pretty well, this is going to be sound preposterous, are just limiting and really are shortchanging your potential in profit. I say that for a number of reasons. I'll give you an example. TradeLink is a great example. If you asked me a year ago, it looked like the best trading platform out there for open source, because you have the source code from end to end, including the API, and it was great. Until earlier this year, they decided to push this other product called Lean, which is for commercial purposes, and I get that, for the model building, strategy building. The model itself, the tool, I'm not a big fan of. I still don't understand it. It's not intuitive. Again, there's not enough documentation. Very few, resources online to just pick it up really fast. It's just not sexy enough, I guess what I'm trying to say. And for the charge to build a model, you either unlock it to get the source code, and that's what we all want. It's very expensive, a couple $100, or you drop $3,500 for a product that doesn't, it's just not really worth it from my point of view, when you can get something as slick as TradeStation, in fact, for the same kind of money. So there's that. So obviously we got issues there. These other commercial platforms are just limiting. Let's just leave it at that. NinjaTrader here all the time. And MetaTrader, you're tied back to a broker. TradeStation I kind of like, but again, you're tied back to a broker and you're really limited there. So after the resurfacing of my London quant friend, he said, well, you should be developing your own, and I bought into that earlier this year, 2013, wanting to do that, but just due to the fact of pretty well getting enticed with other platforms that were pretty sexy, and they're really good. I'm back at it again, looking at platforms, developing my own. Very primitive, but you can do a lot with them. And I'm documenting that as I go for my quantlabs.net premium members. So what have I done so far? Well, I'm using Mongo in-memory database. It's better than I've seen it, including SQL Server and Oracle and all that, even MySQL. It's more modern. The other thing is the ability to actually do trades types like stop losses and trailing stops, which is really bizarre in how it was done in TradeLink, and it's too late now. Even if they did come back to me and say this is how you do it, it's like, if I can't figure out my own, I've lost interest on the product, because I'm going to have other challenges, and let alone I've got 50 people dependent on me to help guide them to their profits as well. So if I'm having difficulty, I'm sure a good portion of them would have the same difficulty. So that leads me to what I'm doing now and what I started this week, meaning I have, as I said, all the basics together, like independently I should say, all done in .NET. And yeah, you're going to get the flame wars with technology purists going, oh, you should be doing it in Python, you should be doing it in Java. And at the end of the day, I don't really care for that. From my years of development, I find that working with C#, I can pick up stuff faster, get it done faster, implement it faster. And that's it. It's nothing to do with what's better and it's just what works better for me and what makes it easier and gets me up and running faster. It has a proper support, and I get the answers that I need fast. That's what I get with language like C# in the .NET world. Whereas in Java, it feels like I'm every time. Python, R, all these languages from the open source world. I feel like I'm always on an Easter egg hunt looking for things and still getting nowhere, and just, I don't know, it's just not a healthy way of moving forward on things like this, but that's just my opinion. So that's one thing. The other two things is the providers that I'm using. Now, I've looked around, I've talked to numerous people about this. Yes, I have questioned interactive brokers and their ability to deliver, and things like, are you insured, and blah blah blah, and that's for your funds when you fund the account. You know, being here in Canada, I'm very limited. It's just that if people don't like regulation, want to be regulated, come to Canada. So really, interactive brokers is my only option. In terms of data providers for market data, right now I'm using IQ Feed. I have talked to some people, and they feel, and they have pretty well informed me that I need to use both for my broker using their data. So in my case, I will have to move over to interactive brokers as my data provider. But right now I'm just using IQ Feed, just due to the fact that I just don't want to fund an account of 10 grand just to get access to the interactive brokers data. So for now it works fine with the IQ Feed, where I'm getting real world data and it's fairly affordable. So those are the two providers I'm using. The other good thing I like about interactive brokers, I don't need to fund an account for 10 grand, but I still can get somewhat a way to test execution, just the connectivity to it. You know, I do realize it's not the best, but you know, where I don't need to fund an account to test that, it's kind of important. So again, that's why I like IB at this point, because I can set up demo accounts with the TWS, have my software connect into it, and test the execution. It might not be the best way, but for now it works fine. So I'm using the TWS for that, and I've got some libraries that I picked up that I've now tested and proven that it does work both from .NET, C#, and Visual C++. And again, it seems to work great, fast response. It looks like a decent vendor, and again, it's affordable. It's like not even $100. Okay, maybe over $100 from Europe. So what I've got now is I've got Mongo working, a database. I've now got IQ Feed, where I'm able to basically, with the developer API, which is $300, it's still affordable, I think. And you are basically, what you're doing is that you are streaming your ticks somehow into Mongo. So I'm using Mongo as my repository, where all the different components will talk to the Mongo, and it's fast, or that's what they say. So what I have is I have IQ Feed, the ticks going into and getting inserted into a Mongo database, I guess you could say, even though it's not no SQL. And then from there, I am having a C# application, or a little program, read the ticks and then feed it into some kind of engine for trading rules and trading logic, and basically connect into interactive brokers for those orders. All that, well, I got basically what I've got working and confirmed working is the execution, the trading, and the orders. And I'm actually confirmed that I can do trail stops and the other one, the stop loss, which works pretty good, and it's fairly easy to work with, which I'm very happy with, because I spent weeks trying to figure that out with TradeLink. The other thing I've got is quite easily found how to stream data coming out of my feed from IQ Feed, which works great as well. So again, I just got to tie all that stuff together with Mongo. Now, when I did mention these, now I gotta mention this. A lot of these ideas and concepts are coming from this friend, I guess you could say, online friend, I guess. I call him the London Quant, and he's just very, 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 very successful with his fund. He's very successful with his platform. These are where all the ideas are coming from, and he's slowly been giving me some bits of code, but a really critical one is, and this is where you will get your edge, and a lot of the platforms won't give you this. None of them will, I don't think. And because you get in the code, you have full control over this. And the secret sauce is concurrency. When you read in your ticks, those ticks are possibly, and it happens at the blink of an eye, those ticks are opportunity. And we humans will miss those opportunities. Now, because we could trade off of tick and 1 minute bars, that enables you to see opportunity that you're not seeing, and you can literally increase your profit levels in the magnitude of like times whatever. So it's not like a quick rich scheme that I'm telling you. This is what a lot of the highly secretive banks and hedge funds are doing, and they're not talking about it. I've got confirmation from somebody on the inside. A well-known person has confirmed that's the way the industry likes to keep it. They don't like people talking about how they're doing it. But I'm slowly kind of, I won't say infiltrating because I don't want to do that. But I'm slowly getting some of the techniques that they're using programmatically that nobody else has known. I'm probably one of the only outsider, as far as I know, on this one system that is getting a sneak peek on how this thing works. And I've got a piece of code that I put up on my membership, which is unbelievable. And basically what it is a collection of data, but it can be multi-threaded. So, and there's no locking on it either. So that means that you can import your data, your ticks, into a collection in memory, and it can be accessed and executed concurrently, and no locks are applied to it. Now, good luck in finding that. I'm sure you'll probably find something. But this is meant for tick data, and that is probably the edge that a lot of these guys have, and gals as well, have over everybody else, and that's why they're doing really well. And I've posted that on my membership, and it's done in .NET as well. I'm sure it can be done in Java. But anyways, that's part of it, as well as all the other stuff. So I'm slowly piecing together this system. I'm going to add some plots that will track it in real time, blah blah blah, and it's all the source code. Little bits of it is being posted on the membership. So just letting you know, these are the sort of concepts that the real guys that are making, and gals, keep making the real profits, is because of reasons like this. Nothing to do with strategies, nothing to do with the math, and nothing to do with algorithms. It's the computer science or computer programming principles that give you the edge, and a lot of that's coming out of places like Microsoft Research, where they're spending a lot of time trying to optimize how to make things faster, and that's what they're doing. Traders, that is, or the automated traders are doing. So just letting you know that's the direction I've been going. I have to say goodbye to a lot of the third-party platforms and stuff, because I've done enough research on it. Now it's time to start building something and going from there. Okay? So I'm going to put a second video on because this is long enough. I'll talk to you in the next video. See ya.